So when I found myself having a good idea and people around me are agreeing with a lot of things I say, and politicians and leaders and everybody from all around. So I started thinking deeper and deeper into this, and I have experienced the Watergate situation, and I have a lot of facts from the Watergate. I'll give you just a few examples, such as when the war started in 1973 or 1:30 Saturday. Agnew resigned the next day, meeting at 6 o'clock in Florida between Vice President Agnew and President Nixon. Monday, Vice President resigned. Richardson resigned or got fired. The whole Watergate exploded the same week of the Middle East. I said to myself, well, we know President Nixon knew that Israel have atomic bombs, and the Russians are there have atomic bombs, and why would he explode all this at the wrong time? So I found some connections and I put it all together, and I have answers like on David Frost interviews. Nixon answered, "What is the criminal cover-up?" And while he kept talking about, "I'm protecting millions of innocent people," we have a president who's accused of criminal cover-up and keeps saying, "I am protecting millions of innocent people." When he asked, "What is the criminal cover-up?" he has to inject Hitler and the Jews into the picture. To me, as an Arab from the Middle East who was waiting for that answer, can put it together. Hey, this man, President Nixon, is in cahoot with the Jews or the Zionist Jews in this country, and they actually killed John Kennedy and Robert Kennedy. And John Kennedy talked about this many times about secret societies, but he could not specify it, because if he specified what he means, the Arabs are listening. They're going to attack Israel. Israel's going to hit them with atomic bombs. Civil war in this country. It's a big mess. So a lot of politicians were hiding a lot of things. So I put a lot of facts together and I started sending it to President Jimmy Carter and others. And I finally had to say America went through scandals of assassinations and resignations, consequently isolation is the last game. Either they lock it or we block it. We have a chance if we know the truth. However, sacrifices and time may remain the best response we have if we are to isolate the Civil War. Anyways, it's a long and a lot of details, a lot of facts that I put together that can shake up a president and shake up a government. Wait a minute, this guy on the street here knows all this, and he got the means and the tools to tell the American people. He got an issue called Aliens' Right to Vote. He can campaign for it, and he can go tell the American people, hey, do not lose vote. Do not lose interest in in the leaders. Go ahead and vote, because somebody wants you not to vote so they can remain in control of the government. The less people to vote, the easier for them to manage the public through the media. So, who shook up? Who was surprised more than anyone else at that time was President Jimmy Carter, right after he made peace between Israel and Egypt in 1979. So he called for Camp David with American leaders, all of them, and he started talking about the malaise, the people losing faith. And he gave a speech in July 15, 1979, practically quoting what I was telling him. America went through scandals of assassination, resignation. Consequently, isolation is the last gate. People are not voting anymore, losing interest, they're losing faith in their leaders. So, and he was talking about the Bible, like I said, and many other things. There was an election coming up in 1980, and his opponents were listening, like President Reagan and Bush and others. So they wanted to know what is wrong what happened to President Jimmy Carter. He's going out of his head here. Like somebody sat him down and told him the facts of life. Listen, we have a powerful organization in this country controlling us. We cannot do anything about it, because if we open up our mouth and tell the truth, what would happen? There'd be a civil war in this country. Or we have to use socialism. We have to control their money. We are between a rock and a hard place. We either use a Nazist way, Hitler way against them, or a communist way, nationalize their money. So this is a democracy, and we are capitalists. How can we do anything? And they have atomic bombs. And if we turn against them, they're going to tear up the country, tear up the economy, tear up the whole world. So let's just keep this quiet, okay? John Kennedy's dead, Robert Kennedy's dead, the Pope, Hammarskjöld, whoever is dead, let him go. We have to sacrifice. The more we sacrifice for Israel and the Zionists, the more we can split the innocent Jews from the criminals ones in the long run. We can't forget we have so many blacks in this country, and if you turn against one Jew, they're gonna raise hell and they say, though, Hitler's back in the White House, let's tear up America before the term come to us, before they kill us after the Jews. So the possibility of a big civil war, there's so many things involved. So that's what shook up President Jimmy Carter. He could not do much. So he just went out of his head, basically. And that's when the Republicans started spying on the Democrats and what the so-called Carter-Belfort papers and operations for your eyes only. A lot of things happens. Let's not keep dwelling into this. It takes a long time to do so. But I'm just giving you samples of what had happened, what could you have, what you might have, what you might well know in the future. For now, let's just get into the Bible. You know, the Bible actually says things like that. It's going to happen. And there are quotations in the Bible. Like, for example, in the Book of Mormon, and I'm just going to quote this quotation to you. In 1982, I was in my house. Two missionaries, Mormons, came to my house. They said they're Mormons, and they put a yellow piece of paper in the Book of Mormon and asked me just to read these few pages. I said to myself, okay, what kind of missionaries? They just want me to read certain papers. Anyway, I read them, and I found very important quotation there. In Nephi 21, 9 and 10, it says, for in that day for my sake shall the Father work a work which shall be great and marvelous work among them. And there shall be among them those who will not believe it, although a man, one man shall declare it unto them. But behold, the life of my servant shall be in my hand, therefore they shall not hurt him, although he shall be marked because of them. Yet I will heal him, for I will show unto them that my wisdom is greater than the cunning of the devil. And also there are quotations. I need to take a break here.